Hi, this short reel is to show you how I do a typical studio lighting pattern with 4 lights, a main, a fill, a hair light, and a background light. When I meter for my light, I usually meter towards the main light because I'm using a large octagon, and that's to me is the equivalent of the sun, so I point my meter towards that. Here is a 1 light setup. The main is only on, and the main is at a 45-degree angle to the camera, and you can see she's mostly lit by the main light. This is a 2 light setup. Now I have the main and a background light, and putting a background light separates her from the background and gives her dimension, but we still have that issue of the shadows, and we're going to talk about that. So this is the main light only, and while she's completely lit, there is shadows on her face that are not necessarily most attractive. So that's why we add a fill light. And there's a subtle difference in the shadows when we add the fill light. It just lifts the mid-tones. And I'm going to show you in the next image what the fill light looks like by itself. Here the fill is all by itself, and you can see that the fill light does not take over any of the lighting pattern from the main light. It's not strong enough to change my exposure either. So the main light, the fill light, and now I added a hair light, and you can see by adding a hair light that I've added even more separation from the background without the background light on. So sometimes a main light and a hair light is acceptable in some situations. Let's say you're on location and you only have 2 lights. The most important would probably be a main light and a hair light. The hair light alone, you can see the subtle edging of the subject. Again, this creates separation between the subject and the background. So that's why you want a hair light when you're on location. Here we're going to build a portrait backwards to see how each light affects the end results. Now the hair light, we added the background light. So we have the hair light and the background light. Here is the hair light, the background light, and now the fill light. Notice none of these lights give the portrait dimension or definition. They are merely accents to your main light source. So the finished portrait with all 4 lights, the hair light, the background light, the fill light, and the main. The most important thing you need to learn is that the main light is most important, and your catch lights will tell the story of your lighting pattern. If you want to have a more natural lighting pattern, it's probably good to have one big catch light.